Hello, everybody, and welcome to Say Report Jr. How do we do? A podcast that you should be listening to, subscribe to, and downloading every single week.
I thought you forgot your name. I thought you were about to be like, what's this again? What do I say?
Well, I couldn't. I was like, there's something better to do. Like, we're supposed to do something else. Oh yeah, we gotta promote that they should be listening, podcasting, and subscribing every week. They also should be podcasting. I've been up since 4:50.
God. From the snowy New England where we still haven't been able to meet because
Yeah,
the one day we were like, we're gonna do this face to face, the frickin' blizzard cave in.
And I was like, yeah, welcome back. Remember snow? I don't know. Snow doesn't happen in New Mexico, right?
I mean, it did right before I left for my holiday. It was snowing that night. I left, and I couldn't leave I couldn't leave town.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, we have names. We haven't said those yet.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Dale Decker.
And I'm the other host, Zach Sarowik. And game show music. While we were little behind the scenes here, right before this, when we were, I guess, what you would call getting warmed up, we were testing some stuff audio-wise. We were testing some stuff audio-wise, so we were talking before we were recording, which gave me time to poke through the boxes of board games that we have here in my parents' basement. And what I'm counting is 1, 2, 3, at least 4 boxes of just excess Trivial Pursuit-like expansion packs.
Those
for
exist?
Some reason over the years. Yes, but we've had these for like at least 20 years. Like the one I'm like, here's one that's the year in review. Questions about 1992.
Nice.
The silver screen edition. Actually, a bigger silver screen edition. Okay, anyway. But this is from, but as I was
have a really funny and embarrassing Trivial Pursuit story that I'm definitely
beautiful.
going to share.
We're going to get to that. But this is from what I thought for literally every moment up until 2 seconds ago was called the Genius Edition, but it's not. It's the Genus Edition.
Oh, God. Guess you're not a genius.
Apparently not. Apparently, I was too dumb to read the Trivial Pursuit box. But I picked a card at random, which I'm not saying I did this now. I mean, like, while we were talking, I picked a card at random. I was like, I wonder if there's any ridiculous questions on any of these. Sure enough.
Answer is yes.
I have a question for you from, is it's pink. I'm assuming it means entertainment. So keep that in mind. This is a question about entertainment.
Oh, God, I'm nervous. All right.
Johnny, don't worry. You won't get this.
Oh, I've already lost. Perfect. Love those odds.
Wait, hold on. I'm actually just reading this even more and still trying to figure out what the hell this question even means. This is great because there's going to be someone out there, it might even be Siegen or Devin, who will understand this question, and we will
idiots.
not. Who was born?
What?
Yeah. In 1894 and died 80 years later at the age of 39. That math don't add up, first of all. Which means I'm assuming this is in reference to something.
Wait, what? Blade Runner? I don't know.
Yeah, Blade Runner. Yes, Blade Runner died at 39.
I don't. Wait, say it again.
Okay, so
say it again.
So who was born in 1894 and died 80 years later at the age of 39?
Is it?
First off, think about those numbers before you actually answer a question here, because this is the thing that threw me off as I was reading this out loud.
Is it Back to the Future themed?
No.
Good, okay.
But
I would have
you're not far off in that. I'm assuming, I have to imagine what this was that this actor was playing someone at the age of 39 when they died at the age of 80, which I cannot fathom, but sure.
I mean, it's time travel. It's time travel thing.
I guess. It just says the answer is Jack Benny. I don't know what any of that meant.
What the hell?
Here's the thing. When I first read that, I didn't do the math in my head, and I thought it literally was just saying, hey, who died at 80 years old? And I was like, that's not a question, Trivial Pursuit. That's not a question you can ask people. Then I did the math, and I went, that's definitely not a question you can ask people. What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah,
was Jack Benny in one of the time machine adaptations? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I just was like, I hope it's not Back to the Future themed because I don't want to get it wrong, but also no one dies in Back to the Future.
No, they get split in the face with cow crap. That's how you go out. in Back to the Future.
I hate manure. That's my best. That's my best Mad Dog Tannen impression.
Well,
Because Back to the Future 3, go watch it, kids.
so save us from bad math. What was your Trivial Pursuit story?
Oh, it's awful. You might judge me. You might judge me and judge our friendship.
I also just tried to jump us into a thing where I thought I caught Trivial Pursuit in a bad question, and then I realized that they must have been referencing something I don't understand. Clearly,
that
not
we just
thinking
don't
things
know
through.
about.
Yeah.
All right. So this is, oh God, I can't believe. Okay, I tried not to think about this, but it's so funny. So when I was in school, like when I was in college, which was, I mean, not that long ago, but when I was in college, we used to have like Trivial Pursuit nights, or Seen It nights, kind of, depending.
Right.
And I think this one was a Seen It, I don't remember, but it was like, a trivia night, and it was usually faculty against students. It was always movie edition, blah, blah, blah. So, since I was like the president, I was either the president or the vice president at the time. I think I was the president, which makes it even worse. So I was the president of the Ocean State Film Society at Rhode Island College, and I was in charge of like reading the questions, because that's the job for the president, right? So I go up, I'm in front of all of the faculty and all of these students, and I'm standing up at this podium, reading questions, having fun, keeping tally of who's doing what. And then I get a question and I don't remember the exact wording, but I read the name. So it was like, blah, 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 danced with Fred blank. Oh, I just hit something. Fred blank, in blah, blah, blah. And that name that I read was Fred Astaire.
Oh, Dale.
And
oh, Dale.
And for those of you who aren't there yet, it's supposed to be read as Fred Astaire.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And everybody in the room just stared at me.
I would have laughed so hard I would not be able to breathe.
Everybody was staring, and then everybody started laughing. And I was like, guys, that's what it says. It says Fred Astaire. I don't know who that is. And they're like, does it, and like one of my professors was like, does it maybe say Fred Astaire, Dale? And I look at it again, and I was like, maybe. And then like one of the students came up, and he was like, I just need to see the card. And he like looks at it. He's like, yeah, this is Fred Astaire, Dale. What the hell? And I'm like, I'm in front of. I don't know what. And I just ran away. And I was just like.
The end of that story was, they looked at the card and it had been misprinted, and someone had literally put Astaire on there. I would have laughed. I would have loved it.
Like, there are times where when I read out loud, I fuck up words. It just happens. I
think we all do that from time to time.
I think everybody does it. But, like, that kind of fuck up, if you will, is so bad, is way worse than, like, reading organism as orgasm, or calling your teacher mom. Like, it's worse. It is worse to read Fred Astaire as Fred Astaire in front of film professors as the president of the Film Society.
Oh, man.
Like, simultaneously one of my proudest and one of my most terrible, like, just embarrassing moments. But I've learned from it, and I've risen from the ashes of Astaire. So, yeah.
Oh,
also,
man.
That also reminds me, and like I became the butt of the joke all the time. Like I don't care about being the butt of the joke. Like I had never seen Star Wars, until like, the until like episode 7 came out. So I had never seen the original trilogy. I'd never seen the prequels. And one of my professors would like rip into me about that to the point where in a recommendation letter, he wrote that I had not seen Star Wars. And I went to an interview with like the dean of the college. And there was the dean of the college and then like other people there, like other board members, and one of them was like, "Oh, so you haven't seen Star Wars, huh?" And I was like just completely thrown off. And I just like sat there looking at them. I'm like, "No, what does that have to do with this interview?" And he was just like, it was in your recommendation letter, and I just needed to ask. Like, you're a film student." And I just could not could not handle what was going on. So
That's always annoying. It's always annoying when someone's like, yes, there's like a thing.
It was hilarious.
I get it. Like, I get why it's just a strange thing. Also, that's not like a thing that's not like a thing to like harp on someone about.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really, like, it was funny. Everybody in the room started laughing. Like, I started laughing. It was a cool way to like make the room calm, but I was completely thrown off by it being in my recommendation letter. So, yeah.
Well,
good memory. Like, there are good memories. They actually are really good memories, but it's just they're crazy.
Well,
crazy
the other
times.
thing to put in your recommendation letter is that you never played Resident Evil up until recently.
Yeah, and I don't think I ever will. No.
Oh my God. That was fun. So I got to watch Dale start Resident Evil on Twitch, and it was illuminating, I would say, because I think the only two people watching were me and Devin, and I believe the bulk of our messages to you were, Dale, open the map. Dale, open the map. Oh my God, Dale, look. I swear to God, you have the clues. I promise you have the clues. Dale, please.
That was the best part, when I'm like, this game just like throws you in here, doesn't give you any clues. And then I like glance over at the chat, and you guys are like, it literally just gave you a clue.
You have the clues.
Yeah.
Like the Snowman versus Michael Fassbender, they gave you all the clues.
How much of the stream did you watch?
I think, and somewhere in the middle of it, I was like moving rooms or something, so I didn't see it. But I definitely caught like the very end of it and parts in the beginning.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember exactly where, like, you were already in the police station.
Yeah.
When I started watching, and then,
I got the first medallion.
I forget where you stopped. So
I got the first medallion. Oh, I stopped in the library-ish room.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where I got killed. Because you fall through the floor. You're about to go through that door, and you fall through the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to stab someone, and I tried to shoot people, and I just got killed.
Yep,
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
So
but watching that, it actually made me think of something.
Okay.
And this is not about me about to make fun of you. I swear to God.
I mean, if it is, it's fine.
It's just, well, what it was like, I was thinking about me and Devin, and they're like, you've got the clues, you've got the answers, they're all right there. We swear to God, don't. And all I was thinking is, oh my God, is this game only playable by people who have actually played Resident Evil games before?
No, I just...
Because...
I don't think so.
Well, because what I was thinking was, like, every puzzle in that game has a solution handed to you in one way or another.
Yeah.
You just have to find it, is the thing.
Yeah.
But there are things that will, like, there are notes, and there are notebooks, and there are pictures that will always basically tell you this is the solution to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And so, like, you kind of expect there's kind of like an expectation that if you come across something that you don't know the answer to, you'll walk away from it and come back later when you do have the answer.
Yeah.
But it's not like the game ever tells you, hey, don't worry, we got you.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. So the reason, like I say, I'm never going to play Resident Evil again, honestly, the only way I'll probably ever play Resident Evil again is on stream. And it's just because, like, when you're streaming, you're looking at for me, when you are streaming a game, you are looking at the game differently. You're interacting with the game differently, I feel. Because like people are watching you, or
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
someone could watch you, so like for me, playing Resident Evil is better to play on stream because I'm making jokes. I'm not taking it as seriously as I would be if I was just like playing it on my own, And I don't like horror games. I really don't. I don't, I don't like horror in general. I mean, I will watch some like thrilling movies or anything. It's not gore. It's just, I also really don't like zombies. I've never liked zombies. Zombies freak me out.
See, for me, zombies are just boring at this point.
Well, yeah, that too. But like, people make fun of me for this. I like World War Z. I like that movie. I like Warm Bodies. I like those movies.
Warm Bodies is excellent. World War Z is much more action based, I would say, than. But that's also why I like the Resident Evil movies are just like way too out of, like, they're so far left field from what those games actually are, except for like 5 and 6.
Yeah. But like if you...
I like those very much, but yeah, not because they're zombie things, but because I like to watch those and go like, what the hell is going on in this movie?
No, I never got behind the zombie kick, and it could be because like I might have shared the story, but when I was a kid, Devin was watching Shaun of the Dead, and in my head, it didn't click that it was a like a joke. It didn't click in my head that it was a parody movie. So I was terrified of it. And to the point where I would have dreams about zombies. I would like not want to have my back towards our back door because I didn't want zombies to come in. Like, I was terrified of zombies because of Shaun of the Dead. It was only until later that I realized it was a comedy movie that I was like, oh, okay, but zombies still freak me out. Like, I don't want any of that. Vampires, cool. Zombies, nah. But I can play House of the Dead.
House of the Dead has some of the best bad voice acting in video games.
It's great.
Which helps.
But no, it's just like my main issue, if you can, my main issue with Resident Evil was not even the zombies, not even like the scare tactics or anything like that. Because I mean, like I said, on stream, fun. Those are fun things to interact with, But I don't like survival horror. I don't like needing to like
worry about the number of bullets you're shooting and worry about Yeah.
I like games where you can just like pick up, you can go to the same spot and get ammo, and you can get ammo from killing, adventure games or action games like Destiny or Horizon Zero Dawn. You get stuff by killing things, right?
That's true. Yes, the reward for killing stuff is not now I get to leave the room without dying.
Yeah. You don't get anything for killing a zombie. Also, the zombies don't fucking die.
That's also another thing. Yes. So it was so funny because I watched you get the knife, and I remember the exact moment you got the knife on that stream, and you went, "Holy shit! I don't get to just keep this."
Yeah.
And it's because that was, I don't know how much of this was a reaction to it, but I imagine some of this was the response to the knife-only runs of Resident Evil that had become very popular. The original game was you got a knife, like just standard, because like as members of the military or the STARS group that you were part of, Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield started with knives, or you could find knives, and so there are people that like run Resident Evil only ever with a knife. Same with Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
only ever with a knife. But the idea that Resident Evil 2 was like, oh, you want to do your knife only run? Too bad, because it's
Yeah.
going to be weak as hell, and it's only going to be used to stab things in the throat so they don't kill you. That's your only option.
Well, yeah, and it's like if you don't kill them, you don't get it back.
Nope.
And that, I don't know if you saw the guy who followed me. The zombie who followed me.
I'm going to guess you didn't meet Mr. X. But...
No, I have not met Mr.
No, you did
X.
not get that far.
I did not get that far. So basically, this was another, like, the whole issue of, like, zombies not dying. I want to know the things I've killed are dead. I want to know that I don't need to worry about them anymore. And actually, it kind of ties into the game that I finished over the weekend, which is Blossom Tales, The Sleeping King, or I think is what it's called.
Something like that, yeah.
I just call it Blossom Tales. That's what everybody,
that's the only
that's
one.
what everybody
well.
knows it as. So,
yeah.
Like, I actually was able to have, like, some comparisons between the two, because both of them are puzzle games, right? Both of
Ultimately,
them.
yes. I mean, yes, you're right. That's
Yes.
exactly what they
like,
are.
Blossom Tales, it's all about puzzles. It is all about puzzles, but they're all puzzles in one room. Like, you don't have to leave and then come back. Whereas in Resident Evil, you do have, like you said, everything is solvable and everything is given to you. You just need to find it, which I don't usually have a problem with.
Except that sometimes you go back in the room and the things you killed are back. And trying to kill you.
Exactly. So
or
it's like,
stronger things have shown up in their place, which is another thing that can happen.
Yeah. No, that's bull. That is bull to me. That is not fun for Dale. That's not fun. Because, so, I will explain to you what happened, because it sucked. So, you solve the... We have not given any background. Play Resident Evil if you want to know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a zombie game, and it's hard. There's not that much to talk about right now.
And you solve some puzzles. So, I solved the Leon desk puzzle.
Yes, I heard about that.
And which I guess I basically solved one of the locks on a guess.
Yes, because what they wanted you to do was kill the guy who was still sleeping at it, who was still dead at his desk.
Yeah.
He would pop up as a zombie, and when you kill him, his nameplate inexplicably falls out of him somehow, and
really?
it's just on the floor.
Oh, I could not find his
You don't notice
nameplate.
it. Yeah, see, the whole thing is after you kill him, like, there's just his nameplate is on the ground, which I'm assuming is supposed to be that he was, like, laying on top of it, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. I did that puzzle twice because I did 2 playthroughs of that game, and I don't think that thing exists until he falls on the ground just as a model in the game. So I like to imagine it fell out of him somehow.
Yeah, no, I never saw it, and like I don't want to give the answer away, but like I was just ruffling through the letters to see what letters were available, like because I learned that by doing an escape room.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 6, so if you have the other 2, it's not like you're sitting there for hours trying to brute force a 3-digit combination. Yeah.
But so I hit the first 2, and I was just like, I just stopped on them, like not knowing that they were the letters, and then I just guessed the last, like 100% guessed the last letter, and it opened, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
What I'm learning is I do want you as a partner in a zombie apocalypse. Regardless.
I don't know.
Apparently you're really good at just game theory by accident. So.
Yeah, pretty much. But so then there's that zombie in the like chief's office or whatever, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have to remember which one you did. Because the other thing to that, again, very quick background on this game. There are 2 playable characters in this game, Leon and Claire.
Oh,
and
I
they're
started as
actually
Claire.
Yeah, and I had done my original as Leon. There are actually rooms and keys that you only get as one or the other.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So
see, that's
the
cool.
so like the chief's office, you don't get into the chief's office in Leon's playthrough.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't get the heart key to open the door or whatever.
I mean, I think it's the chief's office.
One of the offices. But anyway.
But basically, you do the Leon desk puzzle. So I figured out that, and then I got it. And then I, like, saw that room, and I was like, oh, I'll go in here, see if there's anything there. Zombie. Cool. All right. Zombie comes up to me. I stab it with my knife, and then I shoot it 2 times. and he falls to the ground, and I get my knife back, and I'm like, cool, this guy's dead. All right, moving on. Then I turn around, and he stands up again because this game hates me and hates everybody who plays it, apparently.
I mean, a big thing to it, again, was like reaction to the first Resident Evil, and also by the time Resident Evil 2 comes out, it's 1998, the original came out, and so, like, you know, zombies are big, and people, like, kind of know the quote-unquote rules. And so I think a lot of Resident Evil 2 was just, fuck whatever rules we've created for zombies, we're just doing our own thing.
Well, that's like...
Which is why things like when you message, like, my character keeps getting bitten and I haven't turned into a zombie. It's like, yeah, that's because the game is not going to turn your character into a zombie except for story reasons. But...
Well, it's also like, I was running through, and, like, it was turning out that every time I shot a zombie twice in the head, it would be dead forever. So I'm like, okay, that's the way you kill these. So I was starting to do that, and then it stopped working. And I was like, all right, what the hell?
Yeah, I think it's picking at random which ones will come back to life. There is like a specific one where literally their head explodes, and then they are definitely dead.
Yeah,
and those ones are definitely dead. But there are others that, like, you can shoot 2 or 3 times in the head, they drop down, and they just never come back. And I think literally the game is deciding at random sometimes to be like, this one's going to come back to life on you now because you've re-entered the room so many times or some other shit.
Which brings me to the point later on. Hold on. So, because that right there gets me. That gets on my nerves. Because I don't want my games thinking. I don't want my games thinking. I don't need my sentient games.
I want them submissive.
I want there to be structure. No. So anyways, so the zombie comes back up, and I stab him with my knife again, and I'm out of bullets. So I'm like, don't have my knife. Cool. Going on. And then, like, I start running around the office trying to find more bullets, like, dodging the zombie, and then I eventually leave the office. I'm like, I'll just leave him in there. He can't get out. It's fine. He's not gonna follow me. And then he fucking follows me down, like, 2 hallways. And I'm like, no, I left your area. You don't get to follow me. You don't get to follow me.
Some of this is also, I think, changed from even the original from 1998, because, again, people, like, they knew people were going to go in kind of knowing how to play this game, so they changed so many things to mess with you. A big part of that, and what you're talking about, is to probably compensate for the fact that it's no longer a game with tank controls, which means, for anybody who doesn't know what tank control means, if you want to stop and aim, you have to literally stop. You cannot run and gun in a game with tank controls. The other thing is that it doesn't matter. Usually there's a fixed camera from, like, a specific angle in a room, and your character moves based on where your character is facing. It has nothing to do with the orientation of the camera, which means that if you hit forward, your character will always move forward relative to, like, their own position. It has nothing to do with the camera itself. Which the original Resident Evil, Silent Hill did this. They would use those for jump scares, basically. It was, you walk into a room and think that you're alone because there's nothing on screen, and then something would come shambling up from an angle that the camera is facing. And so, like, to compensate for all of this stuff by making it just an over-the-shoulder, regular third-person game, they need to do things like, well, if you can see the zombies all the time, we have to make them harder to kill, and, like, we have to be able to get them to break through windows and doors and all this other stuff. So,
which also was killing Devin as he was watching because I had boards.
Yeah.
And I was not boarding up windows because I did not think about it.
And again, I think there's like a note you can pick up at some point. There's also like a note at some point you can pick up that's like, hey, if you board the windows, that's the thing. Yeah. But you have to find the note first is the thing.
So, but yeah, I just, it's not like a fun game. Like the idea, like you and Devin, I don't know if you've been playing it because I know you've been preoccupied with Kingdom Hearts 3 and whatnot.
I haven't re-downloaded it yet, but I plan to.
Yeah.
Like I played through my first did run with Leon, and then I did the second run with Claire, and then I removed the thing so I had space on my PlayStation. And then they were like, oh, by the way, free DLC coming in February, and also it's really fun to replay this game.
Yeah, no, I just, like, I could never just, oh, I got nothing to do. Let's play Resident Evil. Like, earlier today, Devin and I were sitting at our respective stations for video games, and I played through one of my favorite games, Abzu, for, like, the third time, because it's really short, and you can just do it in, like, a half hour. And he was playing Resident Evil, and I'm like, I'd never want to do that. That does not sound fun. That does not sound entertaining. It's just like, not, I mean, it's not that it gives me anxiety, but just running around and not knowing if things are dead. I don't like it. I don't like how it makes me feel.
There's a certain amount of randomization you don't like that just doesn't work
yeah,
for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's just like there's a certain amount that you want to feel like you're controlling as you go through.
Yeah.
And it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
There's plenty of games that totally thrive on that idea.
Well, I mean, and it's, again, like, I've never played survival games or survival horror games, or, because they've never interested me. Like, I see commercials for them, and I'm like, no, I don't care about this. I want nothing to do with this. That does not sound fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
But,
that's totally fair.
But like I said, if I were streaming it, then it feels different. Then, like, at least I'm entertaining people by the way I'm playing.
Because that also becomes like a weird aspect of like watching the bad horror movie with a group of friends type of thing.
Exactly.
And also it gets situations where you're trying to play the game and you've got voices on your shoulder like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't go that way.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, turn around.
Yeah. Which also, I was playing in the Noir.
Yeah, that probably didn't help. That it's like, by the way, it's also in black and white, which is not helping the situation.
So I was talking to Devin about this too, and it actually somehow made it better for me because of how comfortable in Noir, like, feeling I don't know how to phrase that. I am so comfortable with the feeling of Noir, because I love film noir, and I love the lighting of film noir. I love the lighting of any, like, photography that's shot in that sense. My favorite levels in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions are with Spider-Man Noir. Like, I've gotten used to the shadows, like, working with shadows.
Right.
In that noir feeling. So I'm like, all right, I love noir. This, playing it in a noir feel is going to make the game better for me because it has an element that I absolutely love. And it will just make the gameplay way better. And I also don't have to look at zombies in color. So that's a plus. Also, Claire looks badass.
She does. That outfit is great.
Looks badass.
For anybody that never saw the Halloween 2018 reboot, one of the things with the final girl, Laurie Strode's like granddaughter, who's like the main character in that, she goes to a Halloween party with her boyfriend as Bonnie and Clyde, but gender swapped. So she is dressed as
nice.
So she's the one dressed as Clyde. She's wearing basically that outfit for like the last third of the movie. And it's great.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a great outfit.
So, but I'm like, as I'm playing through, you're basically playing in darkness. Like, you have the flashlight and it only shines in front of you, and it only shines where you shine the flashlight. Nothing to the side is lit up.
I imagine it also doesn't change the fact that the flashlight is not a button specific thing.
Yeah, no.
It is when the character decides it's dark enough to pull the flashlight out.
Yeah. So, but Devin was like, no, I was scared. Like, it actually scared me watching you and I know the game. And it was scared. Things were still scaring me. And I'm like, yeah, I just, I heard them. I knew they were going to be somewhere. And I knew they were going to be in the darkness, so I just shined my flashlight there, kind of. And he was like, it's crazy and cool that the noir filter made that game better for you. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. Like I said, I love that feeling. It's just, that's how backwards my mind works sometimes.
Should really, if you ever want to try and get into another horror game, just in general, just like have that feeling. I know you won't. You should try out any. There's two Cthulhu games that have come out, or one of them
Okay.
definitely came out. Another one might not be out yet, but because one is based on like the Call of Cthulhu like tabletop game, which I don't think has not come out yet. But
Yeah.
last year there was definitely a Cthulhu game, and I don't remember the name of it. But those are very much like noir, cosmic horror stuff going on. I know that the one that's coming out that's based on the tabletop game is supposed to be very interesting because there's like a whole aspect of you being a detective in this world in which like fish people exist, and also like giant cosmic gods of death might be a thing.
Well,
But the one that came
you.
out, the best part about it is that it takes place in like a New England town, and everybody's got really bad accents for it.
Beautiful. That's awesome. See, like, I love that. I do need to say, again, my mind is backwards. Sea horror, like anything that has to do with scary things in the ocean, I am all about.
Okay, see, you probably love this. I forget what they're called, but like there are people. It's this whole idea that like people have started to become like one with the ocean in a way. So like you've got people who have like barnacles and tentacles like stuck to them in weird places.
Yeah, no, that sound like I would play that all day long. That, I don't know why, but like anything with the ocean being freaky, I love the ocean. Like I love the idea of the ocean. I love the idea of things that we haven't found in the ocean yet. Anything with that, like the trench scene in Aquaman is my favorite sequence.
Do you want to know something great then?
That's
I heard
doing
some
a spin-off?
quick news. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I heard it. I'm so excited because seriously, like the trench. As soon as that first one shows up, I was like, yes. Like I am ready for this. Yeah, no, anything with scary ocean dwellers, I am there. Anything with zombies, get away from me. But yeah, I don't.
Well, I'm glad you had fun doing that. I have been steeped in Disney anime bullshit for
Oh, have
days
you?
now.
Have you?
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't texted you with
Yeah.
crazy, confusing questions about what the hell is going on in this universe.
That I can't answer.
I fell so far. I fell so far into it, Dale. I don't know what happened. I'm literally listening to a podcast to help me understand the fucking story that is going on right now.
Oh my god.
The second that someone was like, "Oh, did you know that there's like there's two at least going
I'm sure there's
from
more.
game to game." I'm sure there's more, but there's two that I know of. One is called Got It Memorized. That's the one I'm listening
Beautiful.
to, and it's great.
Love Axel.
It's these two guys that have played it, that like have played most of the games. They haven't even played all of them. They've played most of the games. They've like understand what's going on, and so they're literally going like piece by piece through every game. So like Kingdom Hearts 1 was like, here's everything that happens on Destiny Islands for an episode, and then the next episode, and here's everything that happens in Traverse Town. Next episode, here's everything. I was like, oh, thank God, a step-by-step guide through all of this. This is perfect. The other one is called Kingdom Smarts, which is just a great name.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And that one is this woman who has like intricate knowledge of the Kingdom Hearts world, and then her friend has no idea what the hell is going on, and so she's explaining it to him step by step. But the second I was like, oh, recap podcast? I love recap podcasts. Give me that. Feed it to me because I need to know. I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 3 at a point where I skipped like 3 games. I got to that point in Kingdom Hearts 2 where I couldn't get through a boss fight, and I went, screw it, just tell me what happens for the rest of this game. Then I started playing Birth by Sleep, and about 2 hours or 3 hours into Birth by Sleep, I went, I really just want to start Kingdom Hearts 3 now, and I skipped everything else. So so that's like 3 games. I have no idea what happened. I'm just relying on the fact that I keep getting through osmosis what's supposed to be going on.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
Oh
That
man,
is
I cannot
amazing.
believe you, Kingdom Hearts. I cannot believe the type of things. Like, in any other franchise, there should be people who are able to play Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 3 and understand it. And
Yeah.
everything else should just be icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And instead, there is no way that you even understand what's going on in Kingdom Hearts 2 without at least two other games. There's no way you understand what's going on in Kingdom Hearts 3 without two other games.
Oh.
There's entire characters showing up that you would have no idea why anybody cares about them unless you knew what happened in other games.
So it's Captain America Civil War, the
Kinda.
video game.
Basically, yes. That's exactly right. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the Captain America Civil War of the entire franchise. Because almost nothing would make sense without any of it.
Oh my god. Awful.
There's an entire trio of characters
God.
that only shows up in a side game, and literally finding like all three of them is an intricate part of this story.
Oh my god.
And if you never played, if you went straight from Kingdom Hearts 2 to now, first off, you would have waited 16 years. Then you would have a bunch of people being like, we've got to go find Aqua and Terra. Like, great, Mickey. Who are those? Why do I give a shit?
You're Mickey.
Oh, man. I've heard a lot of Mickey impressions. And also, whoever's doing their Mickey impression for Kingdom Hearts, because it's definitely not whoever voices Mickey on a regular basis.
No.
Oh.
Oh my god. I don't want to give away anything, but the texts that you have been sending me about the worlds
Oh my god.
have no. What?
Yeah, without getting spoilery about anything, there's a couple of things about the worlds I want to get into because this is like blowing my mind. First of all, there has only been one 2D animated Disney world in the entire game. Everything else is either CGI, there's a couple of Pixar, and then they go back to Pirates from Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
So like the fact that there's only one 2D animated like Disney movie involved in this game, which has weirdly been in I think every single Kingdom Hearts game at one point or another.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I'm just going to spoil. It's the first one you go to, and it's not really a spoiler if you played it before. For some reason, you go to Olympus in every game with Hercules. Hercules is not that popular a character. And yet, for some reason...
I love Hercules.
I love Hercules, too. But for some reason, Hercules and Olympus literally show up in every single game in some capacity. And it's usually the first world you go to. I don't know why they decided that Hercules was going to be the guy they hung their whole franchise on for this for some reason.
Because he can go the distance, Zach.
I guess, except they never say that because the other thing is that they're not allowed to use a lot of Disney music.
What? Yeah, excuse me?
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about, yeah. So here's the thing. They're not. Up until Kingdom Hearts 3, I think Birth by Sleep had some background music and there was a little bit of Part of Your World for like 2 seconds in Kingdom Hearts 2. But other than that, there has been almost no Disney music in any of these games.
Well,
because part of their whole deal with Disney was that they got certain characters and they got to do certain things with certain characters, but they were basically not allowed to touch the music at all.
Well, yeah, which makes sense. I mean, Disney music is like this weird sacred thing that like isn't really that sacred anymore. But like
it's really sacred until you hit Frozen, where it's too popular to be sacred.
Ugh.
You got stuck with 2 of them. You got 2 of them. You got the entire. Here's the other thing. I'm pretty certain they either.
It's fucking
here's the thing.
Too.
Here's the thing. Because it's Square Enix, and Square Enix loves to waste money. So one of the biggest jokes about Square Enix is that they build a brand new set of tools and a brand new engine to build their video games on every time, which is why every game takes forever to come out. Like the Final Fantasy VII remake has been in the works forever because they keep deciding, you know what, this doesn't look good enough. We've scrapped the entire thing and started over with a brand new set of tools that will make it look even better. And like Kingdom Hearts 3 got one of the reasons it got delayed was because Final Fantasy 15 came out. Same guy that like makes all the Kingdom Hearts games, runs their Final Fantasy side of things, and so like that Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to be like a spin-off of Final Fantasy 13. And then they went, you know what? actually, we want this to look better, so we're going to start from scratch, and also that's going to push Kingdom Hearts 3 another 10 years
Yeah,
because we need
that's
to
crazy.
remake all of 15 first from the ground up.
I mean, to it, like the little that I've seen of Kingdom Hearts 3, it looks beautiful.
Oh, it looks great.
Like,
It looks real great when you get to
yeah.
Pirates Land, but it
Yeah.
looks great overall, especially after playing the collection of all the older games. Like even with those HD remakes, it looks 10 times even better than those, which it should,
Yeah.
because there's never been a Kingdom Hearts game that came out on like PS3 or Xbox One. Like they think this one came out on Xbox One, but like they completely skipped like 2 or 3 console generations at this point. Like everything came out for the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 uh came out for PS2. And then all of the side games came out for like GBA and DS and PSP and all this stuff. So it's been years since they've been on like a regular console.
Yeah.
So it looks great.
Man.
But I'm pretty like they get to the part in Frozen Land and they basically do
Frozen
the entire
Land?
sequence of Let It Go, Arendelle, but like Frozen Land.
No, Frozen Land is perfect. We don't.
But like Frozen Planet, because they're supposedly planets. It's a whole other thing.
Yep.
Are they planets? Are they countries? We don't really know. Why are they maybe all on the same Earth? No, they're on separate planets. Oh my God, it doesn't explain anything. I don't know if like Monstropolis is on the same planet as Frozen Land or on the same planet as Pirates, because these are all Earth areas in things.
That's insane.
Did
we talk about how like it kind of bothers me that Toy Story is in Kingdom Hearts?
We have a little bit. It bothers me less because honestly, it makes as much sense as anything else.
I mean, yeah, but like it's technically not a Disney movie.
Well, neither is Monsters Inc. And guess what? Monstropolis is there.
I know, but like that like bothers me.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. I actually have an idea about that.
Okay.
But yeah, so they get in Frozen Land, you get like the whole, almost all of Let It Go. You get like the whole thing where she's running up the mountain and she's creating the palace and all of that. And you get the whole grand sequence while she's singing this, interspersed with shots of Sora and Donald and Goofy running around in the snow. Like, God. Oh, what's going on? And
that's insane.
The best thing is that it's hard to tell, because with the move to all of the CGI movies, it is harder and harder to basically be like, oh, this is not the movie. Like, it looks too good. It looks so good that it matches up with the movie pretty well. So, like, I can't tell you if they just use shots from the movie or if they sat someone down and said, hey, copy this sequence from the movie into the game so it all matches. It's so... and then, and I'm talking about in Pirates World, where everything's live action. They definitely made someone sit down and say, hey, this needs to match up with our 3D animated video game. So just frame by frame, copy a bunch of scenes from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End into this video game.
It's specifically at World's End?
Yes. It is specifically scenes and stories from at World's End that they are doing. But because think of it this way. Do you remember how when At World's End came out and everybody went, that's kind of a confusing and crazy way to end this trilogy?
Yeah, I don't think I ever...
Hey.
I don't know if I saw it.
So take that, but then just start cutting scenes from it. Because they're just going to pop. Because the thing that Kingdom Hearts does is when you go to a planet, they just have you play through... I think I've just talked about this before. They just have you play through the story of the movie, but then like also Heartless are involved somehow.
Yeah.
So first off, they skipped a movie. That's the best part, is that Pirates... is that when you go to Pirates Land in Kingdom Hearts 2, it's the Curse of the Black Pearl that you're playing through. You're playing through the original one.
Yeah.
But then, in the next game, it's, oh yeah, we skipped that middle movie that had all of the convoluted plotting that explains what everybody's doing in Pirates 3. So you just show up, and everybody's backstabbing each other. Everybody's trying to kill each other. Their characters make no sense because they've just shown up. And then they start cutting most of that because they want you to get through this 2-hour movie in like 45 minutes. And so like...
Oh man, I don't understand anything that is going on.
Oh God, I'm trying to. That's why I'm listening to podcasts about
Oh
it and
my
playing this
God.
game.
I
Uh,
just there was something I was gonna say and I don't remember. Oh, don't they sometimes they just continue on with the story too. They don't
so
actually like do the whole movie, which
right,
I've
which
heard
is
is
weird.
better.
It is. It's better because it starts to make more sense. Like
Yeah.
literally, the Toy Story world is not any of the Toy Story movies.
Yeah.
It is just an original story they put together.
Okay, so that I
And
guess
actually,
doesn't bother me as much, but
Monsters Inc. is the same way. You show
yeah.
up and it's just like, hey, like they have already, you know, started converting the factory into a laugh
Into a laugh
factory
factory.
instead, and like you, like
Yeah.
that's actually part of the whole reason you're there is that like they're like, oh, this play, like the bad guys are like, well, we need negative emotions, and so we need this, which by the way is great because that means that the bad guys in Monsters Inc. world are actually bad guys from Birth by Sleep, which would make no sense to anybody who never played Birth by Sleep. It's a random side game. Ah.
Oh my God. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say is there apparently in the Frozen, like part of it, there is a moment with Elsa that there is a Arnold watermark on her.
There's a what now?
A watermark, like it says Arnold. Devin,
I did not see that, but I'll have to look.
I'll send you the tweet. And it was because they couldn't get the rights or something for the image.
Or that someone was like, I need to create this skin and just like pulled an image off of the what? Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
I gotta read the tweet again because it didn't quite make sense, but I read it fast. But I gotta send you the tweet.
God.
But apparently there is a moment where there is a watermark of Arnold across her arm and
Sounds like
body.
Sounds like somebody was like really desperate to get a scene thrown together. It's
Yep.
like I don't have the angle I need to figure out how to. Yep. God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God, this whole thing is crazy. So the thing with the Toy Story world and the Monsters Inc. world and any of the worlds where I mean, this happens with all of the worlds, but especially the ones where they're just doing like original stories with it. Like there is like a theme going through all of these things where it's like we want to make sure, despite the fact it's been 30 freaking years of video games now, and Sora has been doing this like consecutively for 3 games. We have to really keep like really hitting the fact that like having a heart is important and your friends are important and love is important. And so like every story just just like gets them reinvested in the same exact themes over and over and over. So like the Toy Story one is all about like we'll get into it when we're trying to put a stream together of this. So we'll get into it more when we go into that. But like the whole point of the Toy Story arc is that like Woody really wants everybody to like stay together and we're friends and we can trust each other. And Buzz is like, I really want to protect my friends, and by doing that, I'm going to not trust these other people. And so he ends up having darkness in his heart because of it. But it's all out of love. But it's all out of love, and so you're able to save him. It's like, oh God, yeah, that's what every story, like the whole reason they used at World's End for Pirates World is because of the whole conceit that Davy Jones' heart is inside a chest. And so they were like, you've got all of these Organization 13 people who were like, oh, how does someone live without a heart, but their heart's separate from their body, and yet he still lives and does this. This is important to us. And like to Sora, it's like, yeah, but having a heart is important too, because I don't actually pay attention to any of the shit that's going on around me. I just think it's cool to have friends. God, Sora's a dumbass. Such an idiot. It's so listening to the podcast about this and like really thinking about it. Sora is so much like Ash Ketchum in the worst ways.
Oh,
in that Ash Ketchum is bad at what he does. Everybody, Ash Ketchum is not a good Pokemon trainer. He gets by on luck and.
Well, he forms
friendship.
Bonds. Yeah, he forms bonds with them.
He forms bonds with things so that when he has to do something, he ends up getting away from having to do it because his friends are like, "We'll handle it for you. You're too bad at this."
Am I Ash Ketchum?
No.
Well, I don't understand type matchups, Zach. I get by making my Pokemon fall in love with me, and then they avoid attacks.
But also, but see, that's the thing. You put strategy into that. That is more thought than Ash Ketchum ever put into his thought. Ash Ketchum got his first 2 badges because he made friends with the
gym
fucking
leaders.
gym leaders instead of actually fighting them.
True.
So
you're not right. True. Yeah.
So
right.
like Thor's like entire arc across these 3 games is basically he got thrown into some crazy conspiracy bullshit, and yet his whole process is, well, I'm friends with Donald and Goofy, and so far that's worked out for me this time. So he just kind of blunders through every freaking situation. Oh man.
That's fantastic. And awful all at the same time. Jeez. Oh man.
But yeah, that's been my week. Been thinking a lot about this. Also been thinking about a lot about the fact that like somehow Kingdom Hearts went from like everybody's punching bag to like it just came out, and I think the people who were like making fun of it got tired because it had been so many years that they just aren't doing it, and the people who are fans of it can't handle the fact that people aren't making fun of it. Because I see people who are like playing it or like thinking about it, like people aren't talking about Kingdom Hearts the way they used to. Is everything okay with that game? It's like, yeah, people aren't making fun of it the way they were.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, we're all at a point in our lives where making fun of Kingdom Hearts is just not the top of our list.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm sure the Reddit still exists somewhere. You just gotta go find them.
People are still talking about it, and but the thing is, like, there's also this thing that like the game came out and everybody went into "please don't spoil this for me" mode.
Yeah.
That I think everybody went, okay, we won't, but that also means we can't talk about it anymore.
It was like radio silence. Yeah. Now that you say that, it is a little weird.
Yeah.
It really was like radio silence on Kingdom Hearts.
I have no idea what I'm going into at the end of this game right now because no one is talking about it.
Well, that's good. That's how games should be played.
Yes. Except that I need people to talk about it so they can tell me what's going on. Because quite frankly, I still don't understand where the time travel came in.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I understand where the time travel came in. I get I get
the time travel.
I get where it came from. I haven't quite figured out how it has helped or what it really did to serve anybody's purpose at all, except to explain plot holes.
I mean, yeah.
I think at some point they were like, how did someone know this before this happened? It's like, well, someone time traveled back there and told them. That's your answer now. I don't know.
There's actually a really funny video called there's a channel and they do like, so this is basically like cartoony things. They're really, really funny. You should watch. So this is basically Kingdom Hearts. And I'm just going to let you know, darkness is replaced by bees. So you should go watch that.
Man.
And so this is basically Pokemon. Because they are fantastic. Oh god. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't play the games, and like I kind of have an idea because I've watched the videos, but like I still, like I feel like I have the same amount of knowledge that anybody who plays those games kind of has.
You have about the same amount of knowledge I have, and I have been like,
and you've been playing the entire series.
Yeah, except that there's definitely parts of the series where I went, this is dumb. I'm not doing this fight anymore. Just tell me what these cutscenes are, which I learned is not out of the ordinary. I felt bad about that until I was listening to one of those podcasts and someone said, well, here's the problem with the combat in that game. Every time I watch someone try to replay it, they get to a point where they say, this time I'm done with this fight. I'm going to go watch cutscenes and move to the next game now. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Like, it's so weird that game is like that.
Combat is so crazy and bad.
Yeah.
It's okay in Kingdom Hearts. I'm actually enjoying it in 3. I'm also, again, playing on beginner mode. But it's that same thing. It's a lot like what you're talking about in Resident Evil, is that, like, playing on beginner mode, I actually feel like I'm effective in battle, and I'm beating things up, and I'm fighting. And so, like, I can get through fights. The problem is, like, when I was playing on, like, just the next mode, the normal standard mode, you get to a point where it just feels like you're just button mashing and nothing is happening.
Well, can I just say that I was playing on assist mode? I was playing on the easiest mode in Resident Evil, and it did not feel like I was getting assisted at all. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
It was what? Just aim? I mean, and I would say that, like, aim assist comes on, but what actually else does it do?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't think it does. other than aim assist, which also did not feel like it was working. Because, like, I would hold my gun and, like, it would be shaky. And I'm like, I'm not moving. You're not fixed on the target and you're not aiming correctly. You're not helping me, game.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So, I mean, if you just want to enjoy the game and have fun, play on easy mode. Except
Absolutely.
for Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they have an easy mode. They have assisted, but assisted is like, will be really encouraging when you die.
Yeah, it just, it was so bad. It was just, I can't do it. I can't do those games. Kingdom Hearts, I don't know if I could do either, based on what I know of it.
I mean, you could. You just, like, understand at some point you're just gonna, like, your eyes glaze over. You're like, what are you, which of the four characters... Which of the four characters living inside this other character that then got split into another character and is in a vessel of another character are we talking about? Because quite frankly, I don't understand.
Everybody is just body sharing, and I don't understand what a heart is anymore. Oh my god. I wanted to talk about Magnum PI, and that, like...
Oh, that didn't happen.
That just did not happen.
That's the most surprising thing to happen.
We'll have to listen to it next week.
You mentioned Magnum PI, which I never expected you to do.
Well, to be fair, it's the new Magnum PI.
Is it good?
I love it.
Talk about it being good? Okay, well, that's important.
It.
I think that's one of the things that CBS All Access actually has on its thing, so I might watch it.
Yeah, you should. It's fantastic. We'll talk about it next week. Trust me. Oh, man. I mean, I could talk about, like, Resident Evil and Blast Tales and all my problems with Resident Evil forever. But I got nothing else right now.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week. Hopefully we're going to figure out streaming Kingdom Hearts 3, so we'll be able to talk about that more while we're playing it.
I was just going to make we've exhausted all of our resources and we have to run away from zombies now. Joke.
Yes. All of our bullets have been spent. We have no more herbs. Oh, can we also talk about very quickly? I got something else to complain about. Resident Evil 2. Okay, the way that you word, there is a note that explains how the herbs work in Resident Evil 2, and the way that it words the blue and red herb combination sounds like it will permanently raise your health, and instead what it gives you is a temporary shield. I just want to complain about that because they did not word that correctly, and I'm mad.
That symbol.
Yes.
Yeah, that sucks.
But anyway, now that I've gotten that off of my chest.
That sucks. That really, really sucks.
It does, because it definitely says it definitely just says that a red and blue herb mixture will raise your constitution. That's all it says. That's the way it is worded, verbatim.
For a limited amount of time.
It does not say one or the other. It just says will raise your constitution, which to me means will give you a health boost.
Oh, that's awful.
And that shield is not even like really a shield. That shield is weird because what it does is it just like a little shield emblem pops up and then there's like a little timer so you can see it running out. And all it really does is I think maybe cuts the amount of damage you take. It doesn't like take a certain amount of damage for you before you get hit. It just like cuts the way the damage hits you or something. I don't know. It's a very poorly explained mechanic.
Oof, maybe that's the shield Devin is talking about.
I mean, yes, that's the thing is that like I don't think so though because he said something about gold. There's nothing gold. Know. There's a little badge in the shape of a shield and it's silver. I don't know what he's talking about. But
I don't know what that person was saying or talking about.
I'm literally at a point in Kingdom Hearts right now where I've got one treasure chest to find in a very large map. So I'm gonna go figure.
Awesome.
Oh God, it's the worst. I'm gonna go figure out where that is.
Oh man, you're just leaving. You're just gonna leave the episode. You're just like, I need to go get the chest. I'm out. Peace.
That was my way of transitioning to the end of the episode.
Skype call over.
That's my.
Yes. So this has been Say Report Jr. Thank you for listening. Go play these games that we've been giving roaring applause to and roaring reviews to, because we clearly love them.
That's the other
Zach
thing.
does.
I've been playing too much. Like, I say this, it sounds like all I do is complain about Kingdom Hearts, and at the same time, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy what I was doing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just our reviews are great. No, seriously, go play the games, because I'm sure someone out there will enjoy them. Just not me. Anyways, this has been Say Report Jr. You can find us on YouTube at Say Report Jr. I believe we are almost caught up with all of our episodes on there.
Almost everything rendered.
Yep.
So I just have to sit down and just upload them, which will take a little bit, and then it'll be done.
Yeah.
So actually, by the time you all hear this, I forgot that we're a day early. So by the time you all hear this, they might actually be up to date.
Woohoo! And you can also find us on Twitter at sayreportjr. You can also find each of us individually. I am at Dale's Brain.
And I am at Zerwisky.
And with that, we should all get ice cream and not fight zombies.
But that ice cream should be sea salt ice cream, which I think you've done before. You've made that joke. Damn it.
I don't know.
Take it away, Liz.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best course of action right now.
Thank you for listening to The Say Report with your hosts Dale Decker and Zach Sarowik. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report, and you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.